Good morning, Midway. It is Krista with your 5 minutes. Recently, our staff got together and we had a staff day. We ate together, we played games together. Mike took us on a boat ride on the lake at sunset and we sang worship songs. It was really just a cool day to be together as a staff and do life together. But one of the things we had to do was each one of us had to talk about our thoughts on discipleship. And so when I think about discipleship, first of all, that's a super churchy word for me. I almost never use it when I talk about my faith. Because for me, discipleship just means doing life together. When you look at Jesus and his disciples, that's what they did. They did life together. My favorite coaches growing up were not coaches who sat and told us how to play or told us how to run drills or tell us what to do. They were the coaches who ran drills with us, the coaches who scrimmaged with us, they seemed more vested in us as a team. They seemed more vested in us as individuals. And so that's what I think of when I think of the church. We are doing life together. We disciple one another, and we're vested in each other. We're vested in the church together. We're vested in growing in Jesus. And so that's what I think about when I think about discipleship. But I also think about how, who did Jesus pick to be his disciples? And how did he choose them? Like, what did that invitation look like? And so I guess if I was going to change the world, I would have picked some high-level people, but Jesus seems to pick mostly like teenage boys with very little education. That's a lot of who his disciples were. But my favorite is when he invited Matthew to be his disciple. So Matthew was a tax collector, and Matthew, the disciple, writes about that in the book of Matthew. He's the writer of this, and it's in chapter 9, verse 9. It says, Jesus saw a man named Matthew sitting at a tax collector's booth. Follow me, he told him, and Matthew got up and followed him. While Jesus was having dinner at Matthew's house, I love how we've automatically just moved to Matthew's house and now we're having dinner. Many tax collectors and sinners, in quotation marks, came and ate with him and his disciples. They're having a party, and when the Pharisees see this, they ask his disciples, why does your teacher eat with tax collectors and sinners? And on hearing this, Jesus said, it is not the healthy who need a doctor, but the sick. Go and learn what this means. I desire mercy, not sacrifice, for I have not come to call the righteous, but sinners. In the eyes of the Pharisees, Matthew was the lowest of the low. He was worse than a sinner, and yet Jesus called him to be a disciple. Who does our society look at as the lowest of the low? Child molesters, drug dealers, murderers? Who are those people? Are there people in your life who maybe you don't think of as that low, but you think are too low for the invitation of Jesus? I hope you know in your heart, no one is beyond an invitation to follow Jesus. That is what makes our God and his love so amazing. So first of all, who are you doing life with? If you are not in a small group, please, 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 let us help you get in one. We have groups meeting over Zoom. We have groups meeting outside. We have groups meeting in person. Let's have a conversation about finding you a group that works for you, that you can do life with. You need to grow. You need to be vested in individuals and in the church and in growing in Jesus Christ. And number two, is there someone in your life or someone around you that may feel like they are not worthy of an invitation to follow Jesus? I hope you know that everyone is invited. Your waitress, the person checking you out at your grocery store, whoever that, someone you meet, whoever that is, they are all worthy. That's why we say we show our love for God by inviting. So I hope you're inviting.